Picture this. You've worked for 40 years, saved diligently, followed every piece of conventional retirement advice there is, and you finally reach the day that you've been dreaming of. You wake up on your first day of retirement, and instead of feeling free and accomplished, you feel lost and anxious and realize that you've made a terrible mistake. This is the reality for many retirees, which is why in today's video, I'll be sharing a powerful story of a 60-year-old with $1.5 million saved who realized that their retirement may not be as it seems. Through decades of working with retirees who thought they had everything figured out, only to watch their plans crumble emotionally, I've discovered the brutal reality that most retirement advice just completely ignores. That's why I'm making this video today, to reveal the harsh truth that separates thriving retirees from those who feel lost. Why conventional retirement wisdom sets people up for an emotional letdown and the mindset shift that changes everything. If you're new to the channel, my name is Ben. I've been a retirement planner for almost 20 years. I've got a few letters behind my name if you're into that sort of thing, and I want to help you have an even better retirement. So let's talk about a client of mine. We're going to call her Linda. She's 60 years old. She's got about $1.5 million saved, and she retired confidently at age 58. Right on schedule, financially secure, and excited to finally enjoy her newfound freedom. And she had followed the textbook retirement plan. She had a conservative withdrawal rate, a balanced portfolio, low-cost investing, a thoughtful budget. There was absolutely zero fear of running out of money. So the first year of Linda's retirement was fantastic. She traveled, played golf, caught up on her reading, and checked a couple trips off of her bucket list. But by year 2, the excitement wore off. That honeymoon period, or the vacation period as coined by Dr. Riley Moynes, that had ended. She'd played every golf course in town, her trips started to feel a little bit repetitive, and the long stretches of empty calendar started to feel more draining than freeing. Linda wasn't struggling financially, she was struggling existentially. She told me, "I'm not sure what I'm retiring to anymore. I'm kind of sick of golf, and I miss having a reason to get up in the morning. I very clearly had that while I was working, and I miss it. Retirement is starting to feel like a low-budget remake of Groundhog Day, and I'm Bill Murray." Now, I cover this idea in my book, Retirement Starts Today, as one of the 2 primary failures of retirement. Number 1 is running out of money. That's the one we all seem to focus on. But the second failure is just as important, and that's dying with regret. Now, Linda had no fears of running out of money. That's failure number 1. But she did feel like she might be trending towards the dying with regret part. That's not great. By the way, if you watch this video to the very end, I'll show you 2 top secret ways that you can get my book for absolutely free. All right, back to Linda. Retirement for all of us is more than a financial decision. It's a profound identity shift. For decades, your schedule has been shaped by your job, your purpose, your sense of progress. As Steve Jobs would call it, your dent in the universe. It was all intertwined with your work. Now, if you don't believe me, go introduce yourself to a stranger. After they ask your name, almost certainly their next question will be, "What do you do for a job?" When work ends, that structure disappears, but the need for purpose doesn't disappear. As Dr. Benjamin Hardy writes in his book, Be Your Future Self Now, if you don't have a future self that excites you, your present will feel aimless. And that was Linda's problem. She didn't have a money issue, she had a vision issue. As we approach retirement, we all have a decision to make. Do we want to continue to be propelled by our past, or do we want to be drawn forward by a compelling future? Her financial plan had gotten her to retirement, but it hadn't prepared her to thrive in retirement. I want you to retire to something rather than from something. And this is exactly what I mean when I say that we all need to dream first and then plan. If you plan without dreaming, you're just building a financial spreadsheet that has no real life behind it. That's how you end up with $1.5 million that leaves you feeling pretty unfulfilled. So what happens when this emotional gap goes unaddressed? Well, people like Linda start to feel guilty. They feel embarrassed for not enjoying the retirement that they worked so hard to save for. They feel pressure for, hey, why don't you just be grateful for what you have? Even though they're slowly withering away without something exciting getting them out of bed in the morning. And the truth is, this kind of quiet discontent can start to spiral. Clients start filling time with distractions, or they turn back to work. Not because they need the money, but because they miss the identity that work gave them. Now, if you're facing comparable challenges to Linda, who thought they had it all figured out in retirement, scroll to the bottom of this video, click the link, and book a call with me. You'll receive advice tailored to your specific circumstances and clear guidance about moving forward. That's when I sat down with Linda and started asking a new type of question. Not about numbers. Yes, numbers are important, but about the meaning behind the numbers. Why did you save up all this money? Beyond the necessities, what is it really for? What would a fulfilling week look like if you weren't allowed to do anything purely leisurely? Who in your life do you want to spend more intentional time with? If you knew you only had 10 healthy years left in your life, how would you spend them? What is one small thing that you could build into your week that gives you a sense of progress? These are the kind of questions we talk about in my office. They're not emotional side quests. They're questions to determine the structure of a successful retirement and how to avoid retirement failure number 2, which is dying with regret. Now, because Linda had answers to these questions, The number started to serve her life, not the other way around. Now, this is where one of my favorite exercises from the book comes in, something I call $500 and a time machine. I ask clients, if you had $500 and a time machine that could take you back to your 13th birthday, what would you buy and why? Now, the answers are always deeply personal and often surprising because they reflect your core values long before society or work told us what it is we should care about. 13 years old represents a key time when we're young enough that corporate culture hasn't destroyed our sense of curiosity and imagination, but old enough that we have some understanding of the value of a dollar. By the way, what would you buy with $500 in a time machine on your 13th birthday? I'd love to hear about it in the comments, and I'll share what I'd buy as well. So the point of this exercise is not nostalgia, although that is fun. It's clarity. If you can understand what brought you joy, curiosity, or pride back then when you were 13, you can begin to trace a line to what might still bring you meaning today. Linda, for example, realized that as a kid, she would have purchased National Geographic magazines because she loved learning about faraway places. So she started a travel journal for her grandkids in hopes to foster that same curiosity that she enjoyed as a kid. It wasn't just about going places anymore. It was about creating legacy and experiences and storytelling and all that fun stuff. So she took lessons from 13, applied those to herself at 60, and said, here's how I can pay that forward to the next generation, to my grandkids. This is the essence of dreaming first and then planning. When your financial plan supports your identity, your memories, and your legacy, then you've really built something long-lasting and powerful. That's the power of $500 in a time machine. It helps uncover not a better budget, but a better life. So now that you've seen how this is impacting Linda, I'm going to break down exactly what she did to reframe her plan and how you can implement this advice into your own retirement plan. So what Linda finally understood, that harsh truth that we mentioned at the beginning of this video, was this. The biggest threat to her retirement isn't running out of money, it's running out of meaning. We didn't help her change her investments, we helped her change her mindset. She started volunteering 2 mornings a week at a local community art program. She still wanted to travel, so she booked a trip to Italy, but this time she took her sister, and with a little convincing from us, they flew first class. She even started a travel journal, like I mentioned, that she started to share this experience with her grandkids. She went from retired and drifting to retired and driven, and you can do this too. If you're still watching this video and you'd like a free copy of my book, Retirement Starts Today, there's 2 ways to get it for free. Way number 1 is to show up at my office with a ski mask, but the preferred way number 2, is simply comment book in the comment section of this video, and I'll send you a copy absolutely free. No ski mask required. Just comment book down below, and I'll send you a link to download it for free. It's my gift to viewers that are very serious about making their retirement even better. Now that you understand those harsh truths that determine retirement success or failure, you can start building a retirement based on reality rather than the illusions that destroy so many people's golden years. If you're ready to build a retirement based on truth rather than fantasy, click on the link in the description. You can book some time with me, and I'll show you how to use these insights to create genuine retirement success. Once again, my name is Ben. I hope this video helps make your retirement even better, and I'll see you in the next one.